just make some noise inside the Facebook group. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Okay,
Hey guys,
awesome.
it's good to see everyone. Hopefully you guys can actually see me, see me and see me moving. I guess the last time I was like, frozen for most of the webinar. So hopefully this time I won't just stop all of a sudden, and you can see me the whole time. But we have some awesome content planned for you here on values.
Oh, cool. So real quick, everybody, if you're inside the Facebook group, I just posted up a new post that said if you're on the webinar, make some noise. So just say, hey, we're here, we're excited, we're pumped, and we're gonna start off really quickly just by reviewing what we did last night. I know there was a lot of people who may be on this webinar today that wasn't able to hop on the webinar last night because we were maxed out. So we'll start with that. The first thing I do want to talk about here is we talked about the power of rapport, right? The power of being able to intuitively connect with your audience, with the people around you, and being able to connect with them on such a deep, hypnotic level that when you speak and when you really connect with them on that level, whatever you say at that point allows them to really touch them in their heart, touch their unconscious minds, touch their bodies. And in most cases, you're probably saying everything you need to say, but what's lacking is that rapport, being able to just be in total sync with that person. I know William does this every single day in his office where he's at right now, where clients come in that very chair right behind him, and he just does this
The
over.
chair of magic.
It is the chair of magic. Because when they go into that chair, they'll go into a deep, deep trance. So I mean, it's amazing, right? It's amazing to really see what really happens, right? What really happens when you can connect on the deep level. We talked about different people like Les Brands, Tony Robbins, David Wood. All different people, different leaders in all different niches, being able to communicate on such a hypnotic level that caused people to take action. We also discussed the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, the olfactory, the gustatory, allowing you to tap into your senses to build rapport. We also Will had an assignment. Let's see if everybody did it, right? So I don't know. Come on, guys. You guys got to do things, right? That's why we're here. So we do have woohoo. So let me just welcome everybody here. We've got Scott, right? We have Summer. Hey, Summer. We've got Trevor. We've got Kevin. We've got Mikhail. I think it's Mikhail. I'm sorry if I'm bad with names. Georgia, Lavar. And we've got Rocky here. Awesome, ready to learn. I'm in with the
Nice.
inner marketing piece. Cool. So we started talking about with Will. We started talking about what we can start to do to model what other really powerful hypnotic speakers are out there. What do they do? What are they actually doing, right? Did you actually do that research? Did you check the emails? Did you check the blog posts? Did you check what they're sending out to their list? Did you check their fan page? Really look at what they're doing, right? Figure out what kind of content they're talking about. How are they describing? Are they using stories? What kinds of stories? Right? And the next thing was your action step was to take that information and apply it directly into your marketing, because we want you to be able to use that inside your business as an entrepreneur. We don't want you to just look at things. We want you to apply it. So with that being said, if you did your homework.
Well, hang on, remember, and part of that homework was not only seeing what they did, but noticing, did what they did draw you in, or did it push you away? And this is important because not everything that even a brilliant marketer does will always be great. Not everything that even the most hypnotic person puts out will always be hypnotic. And so you want to be careful that what you're modeling are things that are bringing people in and not things that are pushing people away. So yeah, so post something up about your homework. We want to know, did you do it? And if you did it, what did you find?
Yeah, cool. Post some things up. And while that's being posted up, I'm going to tell you just a quick story of some other marketers that I was paying attention to, and I was looking at it because I said, if Will's going to give out this homework, I better do it too, right? Because I want to learn, right? And what I saw was that a lot of the marketers that I pay attention to, or a lot of the leaders that I pay attention to, I'm more of a video guy, right? I really pay attention to videos. I'm really engaged by videos. I'll start to watch them, and I started to notice, where does my attention drop off? What am I really searching for? Do I
Right.
continue watching a video, and why do I watch it? And I realized that if I have a set intention, if I want to learn something, I'll actually watch the video all the way through. And in most cases, if I'm just looking around, just seeing, all right, what are they up to? I'll click around on the
Sure.
bar and just go, did I learn something here? No, is this anything? And then I don't end up watching. So I know what kind of engages me. I know what gets me to pay attention, what draws me in, what type of email copy on the subject line, what really gets me to go, ooh, I want to know what's that, and then I started modeling it and using it. So people respond to pictures more than text. That is absolutely true, Sherry. Awesome, awesome. So Will, you want to go ahead and take over?
Yeah, absolutely. And before I do, I also wanted to talk just a little bit about the course that we have coming up, because we've talked about the power of rapport. Tonight we're going to be talking about the power of values, and really the map for the seminar that we're going to be giving today, or the webinar we're going to be giving today, is absolutely powerful. We're going to be going through some really top-notch stuff that oftentimes I'm teaching when I teach my master practitioners of NLP their material. So this is advanced stuff. This is like black belt ninja stuff that we're getting into. But the good news is that if you really want to take a deeper dive into the material, if you're liking what you see, that's exactly why we have this short course coming up. It's going to be $497 until the end of the conference call tonight, and then the price is going to go up to $597. So if you like what you're hearing today, you'll want to make sure that you go over to the landing page. And Amir, if you could post a link up to that in the Facebook group, that way if people want to take advantage of it, if they want to take things to the next level, if you like the information that you're getting, the way to take a deeper dive, the way to really expand your knowledge and develop mastery is to take it to the next level. I mean, I remember when I first started learning hypnosis, I was really clumsy. I didn't know how to get somebody from point A to point B, and it wasn't because I wasn't going to be good at it. It's because I didn't have enough hours under my belt. And the fastest way to really take things to the next level is just to make sure that you've got the hours under your belt, you've got a great coach, you've got someone who can really take you to the next level because they've already made all the mistakes, they've already done all the hard work, and that's exactly what this webinar is going to do. So $497. Click on the link. I think you just posted it in the group. We'd love to see you inside. We've got a bunch of people that have already signed up. We'd love to see you in there. So having said that, let's go ahead and, you need to, get your pencils out, sharpen your pencils, get a pad of paper, do some calisthenics here for just a minute, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, this is going to be a blast. I mean, I am super stoked for what we got today. What we're going to be doing is covering the power of values. Now, values, guys, what is a value? A value is simply a type of belief. It's a special kind of belief that tends to operate on the unconscious level. So what is it that we're interested in when we do hypnosis? We're interested in unconscious communication, and that's exactly what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a belief. Now, what kind of belief is a value? A value is simply this, in one sentence. If you got your pencils out, you want to write this down. A value is a belief about what's important. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. A value is just a belief about what's important. And there are different kinds of values. There are values that operate across many, many, many different contexts. And then there's values that operate in a context-dependent sort of way. And I'm going to explain myself in a minute. So just kind of tuck that back in your mind. There's two different kinds of values, and we're going to be talking about both kinds of values. So why would you want to learn values? Bottom line, learning how to recognize when you hear a value or when you see a value on a Facebook group, on an email, on a Facebook post, on a private message. It literally is like finding the edge of a gold mine. It's like finding a vein of gold in your backyard. And you just see this little speck of a little golden nugget flashing at you in the river, and then when you start to dig, baby, you hit gold. You hit gold and you start mining the vein, and the vein keeps on paying. It keeps on putting money in your pocket. It keeps on putting money in your pocket. And so that's why you want to learn values. Values is the way to really get into somebody's heart, get into their mind, and get into their soul. And when you look at almost every powerful communicator, whether they're speaking, whether they are listening, or whether they're communicating via email, whether they're communicating via Facebook post, you're going to notice that powerful communicators, the people that you're resonating with deeply, are people who are speaking to their values. And so that is why you want to do it. Now, again, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to give you an overview of values today, but there's so much material that there's no way that we can cover it all in today's webinar. So if you really want to take things to the next level, we're going to have a deeper dive into values and how to use them in a sales context and also in a marketing context in the course that we're selling for $497. Now, Amir, is there anything else that you want to mention about what a value is or why it's important?
No, I think you covered it. I do want to add here, though, about the importance of this. A lot of people sort the world through what they think is important, right? So think about this, right? If you can remove your filters long enough for you to step into another person, to start to see the world how they see it, you could start to speak to them through what makes sense to them, what is logical, how does it work. So for example, just really quickly, if you are speaking to a person who has high family values, right, and the reason that's what's driving them from going ahead and joining your business opportunity or buying a product or a service from you is so that way they can go ahead and spend more time with their family, you better be sure to include that element of spending more time with their family more and more and more with that person, because that's what makes sense to them. They don't really want to spend time on a business, although that's important and it's necessary, but you somehow have to get them to realize that spending that time there is going to mean more wealth for their family. And that's a compelling offer to a person who cares about families, right? So again, that may not be everybody. Just because you care about your family doesn't mean everybody else has to, okay? Right. I mean, I guess we should, but I'll say this is that people are different. And if you're in the business of selling or offering products or services or helping a person altogether, you want to work within their map of the world, as we say in NLP. We want to work within what they see as important. And your goal at the end of the day is to extract those values, those gold mines, as Will was saying, and be able to speak to those gold mines so they can explore it in more detail. So go ahead, Will, take it away.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the key ideas in all of NLP is that the way that you see the world, the glasses that you use to see reality, is not the same pair of glasses that the person you're talking to or the person you're communicating with sees the world through. So when we talk about values, we're not talking about some sort of religious values or some sort of ultimate values. We're talking about what does the person that you're communicating with believe is important? What do they believe that's near to their heart? What's their highest level priority, or what's their top priority? And when you speak to that, it's like you're speaking their native language. It's like, wow, all of a sudden I really understand what you're saying because you're speaking to what's closest to my heart, or you're speaking to my top priority, or you're really speaking to what's foundational for me here as I'm going forward. And so as we look at these things, we want to find out about how people are sharing these, and we want to learn how to recognize values as they show up. And I think by the end of the conversation tonight, by the end of the webinar, my bold promise is that you are going to start seeing people talk about their values. You're going to hear them talking about their values. You're going to hear value words coming at you all over the place. And guys, this is the key to the kingdom. When you get this, it's like unlocking a door that's been locked your whole life. You're like, whoa, what in the world? Where did this come from? And I'm telling you, it's that powerful. So let's go ahead and tune in. I'm like sweating. I'm so excited about this stuff. I mean, this is good stuff. So let's go ahead and let's dive right in. I mean, come on, let's kind of limber up and let's get let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. But hey, that's my brother Dave. Everyone say hi.
Hey, Dave.
So, hey Dave. Yeah, right. He's trying to get a hold of me here. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's dive into values. Now again, there's two different kinds of values. We're going to set one on the shelf. So the one that we're going to set on the shelf is the type of value that goes across context. And we're going to focus in on what I call a context-based value. Now in NLP, we call these criteria. We're just going to refer to them as values today, just to keep it nice and simple. But if you ever hear an NLP guy talking about highly valued criteria or criteria, this is what we're talking about. Now, one more idea about criteria before we really dive into it, and that is that people's criteria will, number one, affect what they pay attention to, and it will affect what they spend their time doing. And there's a bunch of different ways to use them in a sales context, but we're going to cover that really in the deeper dive that we take when we go and we look at how to use them in sales and marketing in the course we're offering. Today, we're going to teach you how to recognize them and how to utilize them. And I think you'll get some major nuggets here. So everyone do this. I want you to pull out your pens, pull out a piece of paper, and write down the answer to this question. Ask yourself, what is important to you in the context of a romantic dinner? So if you're planning a romantic dinner, write down several of the things that would be important to you in the context of that romantic dinner. And when you've written down 2, 3, 4, or 5 things, go ahead and go over to Facebook and start typing them in. But write them down so you have a record of this too, and then put it up in Facebook. And we're just going to give everyone a minute to go ahead and do that.
So what would it take for me to take you out on a date, Will? On a romantic dinner?
More money than's in your wallet, I
think. So. Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay. So Amir, let me ask you while they're doing this, and there's no right or wrong here. In fact, let me actually write down 2 or 3. I'm going to say. Okay, hang on. I'm writing down 2 myself. And this is important. The sharing of this is going to be super important. You'll see why here in a minute. And okay, I've written down my top 3. There are more, but these top 3 will probably really speak to what I'm looking for. So Amir, have you written down a couple yourself?
Yeah, I'm writing them down right now. When you say what I'm looking for, am I looking for that inside the experience, or just what's important to me altogether?
Yeah, what's important to you about it in general? I mean, like let's say you're hunting for a restaurant. What are the characteristics, or what are the things that are important to you in the context of finding a good romantic meal? And this is super important, guys. You're going to see right where this is going once we all start sharing here in a minute. Okay, and when you've got 2 or 3, Amir, go ahead and let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so
yep.
We've got Sherry Hamilton just shared one, it looks like.
I've got a couple written
And
down.
what about, you've got it, yeah, you've got a couple written down. Hang on, I'm just scrolling down. Okay, wow, we got a few people here. I just refreshed my page. So yeah, what about you, Amir? What is important to you in the context of a romantic evening?
Well,
romantic dinner.
A romantic dinner, like I've had so many. Must have dim lighting in there.
One of them that you've ever had. I'm just saying.
There must be some sort of like dim lighting, so there's some good ambiance there. It must be quiet. Like it's kind of like you can almost just hear that person in front of you, and that's it. There's like this experience where you just hear them. And there must be kind of like there's safety and security. There's like this bubble where like not the waitress doesn't come and harass us every 5 seconds. So so I'm looking for a place it's got the dim lighting, it's quiet, it's got this private experience in it, and that we can spend enough time there. Yeah, how does that sound?
Okay, cool. So so we've got lighting and ambiance, quiet. You just hear your partner, and you can really just have this sense of safety and this intimate experience where you have a private experience, and you're not being harassed by the waiter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, my top three is I would like a place that's private and intimate. And what I mean by that is that like it's not like there aren't people rushing around, but it's really kind of settled down ambiance, and there's really a good ambiance, meaning there's no TVs all over the place, and but we have lots of room to sit next to each other, right next to each other, and talk, and we have the ability to really make a connection, and then ultimately that the food is excellent, because even if the ambiance is great and the food sucks, I mean that's not romantic, right? Okay, and now let's look at a couple. Let's look at a couple here on the group. It says to have an emotional to have emotional connection with my partner, for us to feel reminiscent and amorous, and to be relaxed enough to let go of the day and enjoy each other. LeVar says a good time, caring for the other, not messing up, long and loving conversation, something both of us can eat and afford safety. And LeVar says less to actually no distractions at all. Good. Now here's what's interesting. There are certainly patterns in this, but was what I wanted and what Amir wanted, what LeVar wanted, what Sherry wanted, were they the same? No, right? Not at all. Now they're similar, but not the same. Now here's the thing that I'm gonna argue, and I'm gonna be arguing it for the rest of the webinar. If I want to really light up Sherry about a restaurant, if I want her to get super excited about a restaurant, I have to speak to her values. I can't speak to mine. I have to take off my glasses long enough that I, through her, hang on just a second. There we go. So I need to be able to see the world through her eyes just long enough to be able to speak the language that's going to light her up. Sherry, just write some feedback for us. If I were to tell you about a little restaurant where my wife and I had just gone and we had really had a powerful emotional connection there, and for us, it's that kind of place where you go and it's almost like you remember it immediately, and it's like you've been there before, and there's just this powerful sense of having had a deep, loving, and connecting experience. Super relaxing, and we were totally able to just let go of things and be right there with each other, enjoying each other. I mean, is that a place that you'd be interested in? And just give us some feedback in the box. Yeah, she says I would like to go there and probably feel. Yeah, okay. So this is the point. Now the first thing to notice is that no one's criteria is the same. The second thing to notice is that the words that people use are important. Not an approximation to the word, the actual phrases that they speak. They're like, for those of you that know any NLP, they're like anchors. For those, it's a way to just get someone to light up inside. These words are emotionally charged. And if I start talking to LeVar about, hey, listen, there's this great restaurant, a place where you can have a totally good time, right? You can have this awesome caring for each other experience, no one's messing up, and have just this long and loving conversation. And really, ultimately, it's an affordable place. It's a place where you both can get something good to eat, and there's no distractions, none. It's just a place where you can be totally alone and left alone. I mean, is that a place you're interested in? And when I speak to LeVar's criteria, when I speak to his values, he's going to be so much more excited than if I'm talking to him about, mine, which are, hey, it's private and intimate, and there's really expensive food, it's exclusive, and you can only get in 6 months in advance or something like that. He'd be like, so what? I don't want to go there. It's like totally out of my price range, and we can't both have something that we like and connect, right? So find are in a specific context are super important. Now, most of you guys are not selling restaurants, right? But let's take a look at this. Just go with me. Roll with me here. We're going to learn something important by doing this. Okay, let's go to the second example. Imagine that you're buying a new computer, right? What's important to you in a new computer? If you're looking for a new computer today, based on what you're going to do with it, what would you look for? And go ahead and write 2 or 3 things down. I'm going to write a couple down as well. Okay, hang on. I'm almost done. And write these down if you're at home. And the more people that we get to share, the more we'll get. And I think the deeper lesson that you're going to learn. So, Amir, when you're done, go ahead and let me know that you're done. I've got 5 down myself.
I've got 3.
Okay, so go ahead and give me your 5. What have you got?
So I've got, it has to have a fast processing speed, probably a solid state drive, so it really needs to be fast, so a really good hard drive. It must be a Mac. I'm done with Windows. Blue screen of death is over. And it needs to not break down. It needs to work all the time.
So it needs to. So basically, you need something that has a really fast processing speed, solid state drive. It needs to be a Mac, and it needs to not break down.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Because I want to buy it right now.
So again, because you want to buy it right now. So if I'm selling Amir this computer, I want to make sure that I'm using his criteria, not mine. Now mine are similar. I want something that's fast. I want something that can easily process audio and video. I want it to be easy to use. I want it to have a large screen and it's got a little bit different set of criteria. I'm speaking just a little bit. I'd speak a little bit differently to me than I would to Amir. Now let's look over at the list. Sherry says, I would like, hang on, I saw somebody, I got to refresh my screen. For some reason, it's not self-refreshing. Yeah, here, hang on.
So many awesome comments, we can't keep up.
Facebook. I know, great comments.
6 gigs of memory, 100 gigs of storage, Windows 7, guarantee 3 years plus live support. Bill, we have that computer for you. How much would you like to invest on it today? 600 gigs of memory. Okay, great.
Yeah, nice. Needs to be fast, large screen, the speed of the computer, the graphics, the storage are very important to me. Now, now there's a couple things to notice. Usually, the ordering and the sequencing of the values is really important. The ordering and sequencing of these criteria that people come up with in their list is important. People tend to lead with what's most important to them. You can also watch if people are talking to you, and this is like a black belt tip, guys. This really is. People talk to you, and you can watch their gestures, you can watch their body language, and the way that they'll emphasize, or we call it marking out things. So if they're like, listen, it needs a fast processor, right? That's exaggerated, right? But you'll see people do it all the time. That needs a fast processor. I won't tolerate it if it's slow, okay? When people mark out these phrases for you with their hands, with the karate chop like I was doing, right? So doing a little bit of, word kung fu. But I mean, seriously, when people are marking these out with their gestures, you'll see gestures like this. You'll see gestures like this. You'll see things like this. You'll see people dropping their chin. Now, this is super exaggerated. They won't be that bad, but you see people drop their chin. You'll hear people's voice tone drop. These are like big, fat clues that the words, like, whoa, right? I mean, these are huge, fat clues that the words that they're speaking are important. In email, they might be bolded. They might be underlined. They might be in quotations. It might be a single word that's repeated over and over and over and over and over and over again all the way through the email chain. But let's look. So Sherry says, functionality, built-in tools, great monitor, smart and cheap. So let's just watch this for a minute. Amir, okay, let's say I'm the computer salesman, and I'm coming in and I want to sell you a computer, and I say, listen, I've got this great computer, Amir. It's got awesome functionality, built-in tools. It's got a great monitor. It's smart and super cheap. Do you want it?
It's exactly what I've been looking for. Finally, somebody can find it. I've been telling these 5 other guys, but nobody's listening to me.
No, but seriously, based on your criteria, is that appealing or is it not appealing?
No, it's perfectly appealing. I think in most cases, when you speak directly to what they're looking for, now you've got, I'm in. I just want it.
Yeah. So, have Mike Cullison, uniquely, no one requires up front is cost. I find this in many areas, being a product or even going to a restaurant, if it's what they really want. Cost is usually on the list somewhere for most people, right? Like if they just absolutely can't afford it, it might be somewhere in there, but it's not the #1 criteria. If you're looking for a romantic dinner and your #1 criteria or value is cost, your partner's not going to be very happy. It's like, honey, I had this big plan, but you know what? You can have anything off of the McDonald's dollar menu. It's all on me. Don't worry, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I got it covered, right? I mean, you're not going to go that far. And in general, people are considering cost, but functionality is more important. Are you willing to spend $1,000 on something that would get you $10,000 in return? Right? Are you willing to spend $10,000 on something that would get you $100,000 in return? Are you willing to spend $497 on something that might make you $4,000 the first month in using it? Right? All of these things are important considerations, and so cost is usually a secondary thing. So Mike, I absolutely agree with you. Cost is not the issue. Usually the issue, if someone does not buy what you're selling, is that you have not given them the value that they're looking for. If, for example, Mike, I don't know what you're looking for out of this training course, but let's say that before you decided to buy the training course, you really wanted to make sure that I could help you convert your leads and turn them into sales, and I never spoke to that value. You'd be like, boy, he had some good stuff, but you know, he really wasn't talking to me. He wasn't telling me that I could get what I wanted. And it wouldn't be until I said, hey, listen, Mike, one of the things we're going to do is we teach this course is we're going to teach you how to use your language hypnotically and really speak to people's deeper values in a way that causes them to you know, want to turn from a lead into a buyer, or from a lead into a customer, from a lead into a business builder. And so we've got to be careful that when we're selling to someone or when we're presenting an idea, that we find out what it is that they want. And then we've got to start linking our solutions to what it is that they want. Now, again, a couple of caveats. Number one, we assume that you can honestly and ethically do this. I know that in my practice, I help people. My product is change, personal change. And if I cannot honestly believe that I can help the person in front of me with their coaching issue, with their business issue, with their personal issue, if my chair of magic won't be magic for my client, I don't try to sell them a solution. I try to refer them to someone who can help them out. And so I'm assuming that you have enough ethics to actually say, well, hey, you know, my product doesn't really do that, so I'm not going to tell them it's going to help their family life. But if it does, and you've heard them say, family is important to me, then you're going to want to say, hey, listen, the best part about my business, or the best part about my product, is that it really helps you with your family. Is core to what I'm doing. My mission in life is to help people liberate their families, or to give their families the free time that they need, or whatever other words that they're interested in. And as long as you can ethically link the two things together, and most of the time you probably can, if you're talking to the right audience, if you're selling to the right people, you have a solution that they need. Listening for the value, and then connecting your solution not to a paraphrased value, but to the exact word. Say it with the exact language, the exact tonality, the exact gesture that they give it to you. For example, one time I had a gal in my office, and she says, the reason I'm here is because I really feel like I need to develop a sense of family. And she did just that with her hand. She goes, I need to develop a sense of family. And she kind of dropped her voice, she rolled in her shoulders, and she dropped her hands. She said, I'm really developing a sense of family. And I had the golden ticket, right? I really did. I had the golden ticket because I knew I could help her, and I knew that what I had was way better than anything that she would do. And so all I started to do is I said, well, really, all I'm doing in everything I do is using a set of mind-based tools to help you develop that sense of family, and to really help your family get what they're looking for. And by listening for the value, by seeing it in her body language, by hearing what she was saying, it was like not only was she a coaching client, not only did she buy an ongoing coaching package, but as we were working together, anytime she started to get stuck, I could just bring her back to her family and the power of her family and how much her family meant to her, and it would break her right through being stuck. And so when you find these values, these are powerful, motivating forces. And like I said, it's the gold mine that just keeps on giving. And obviously, as we go into the product that we're going to be going into, we're going to be going into a deeper dive on how to use that. But Amir, anything you want to add about these context-based values?
Absolutely. I think, and guys, we're teaching information that's not even taught at the practitioner level. This is really the advanced stuff that's behind the scene. We've got some feedback in our surveys. They're like, we want more amazing stuff. So we decided to pull out of the bag the deepest type of content where you can truly, that really makes a difference. And if you guys are grasping what Will is talking about tonight, it's a game changer when you're doing any sales, when you're helping people out or anything, because all you have to do is when a person's looking to buy something from you or they're interested, all you have to ask them is what's important to you about having this kind of service. What's like Will is doing right now. What's important to you about a computer? What's important to you about a romantic date? And you can start to extract all this great information. And when you have that information, you know how they said it, why they said it, what motivates them beyond that. And if you were to step into that person's shoes for a moment, how would they want to experience that, right? And what else could you include or say that could allow them to step into that experience more fully, allow them to associate into it? So when we're thinking values here, I want you to really think this is their checklist as to why they buy. This is their checklist as to why they'll change. It's a checklist. You hit all their criteria, exactly how they said it and why they said it, and you impact those motivational, those factors in that right order, in the way they want it. Guess what? You can time warp all this stuff where they tell you you have to build a relationship over the course of 3 months before you can offer something. You can break all those rules because the reason why those rules were there to begin with, right, was because that time allowed you to hit all that criteria. But we can cheat here by just asking them, what is your criteria, and speaking their language, right? So we can shortcut our success. Right. We can shortcut our results. We can shortcut everything. This is why what we do in our office works magically, right? It's instantaneous. We start having people transform in a session. And this all happens because we know how to speak to people's criteria, what's really important to them. If somebody asks you, and ask yourself this question right now, because this could also tell you who your target market is when you're offering your product or service. Anybody ever ask themselves this question? Who's my target market? Who do I help, right? And here's how to answer it really simply. If you guys are really interested, this is how you can really find out your target market. What's important to you? Because what's important to you will last beyond your business. Right? It'll be the motivational driving factor that will keep you moving forward through any business venture you're a part of, right? Through any entrepreneurial endeavor, through anything, because that's important to you. No matter what, you don't really get rid of your values, right? You keep them around, right? And they're there for a reason. And they're there because they're important to you and you enjoy them being important to you. If they weren't important to you, would you have them, right? So really just start to think here, what's important to you about doing your business, right? And then go ahead and start to really get down to the nitty-gritties that'll also give you the language. And I had this question that came in on the survey, or this response, and they said, I'm looking for more subject lines. I'm looking for more email copy. I'm looking for exact phrases and words. And this webinar is all about that, right? So figure out what phrases and words some of your customers may use, and what you'll start to do, and this is how you really get good at understanding your target market, is that you speak to about 50 of them, and you'll start to go, oh my God, same line here, same line here, same line here, same line here, right?
Same pattern.
It's the same pattern, right? And they'll have things that are different, right? But there'll be like a couple identical phrases. I mean, for stop smoking clients, for me, is they've tried everything else. They come to my office. I'm their last resort, right? It is that is like
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
You are my only hope, right? Yeah.
Right. So that's a typical response. So when the client comes in, I've had hundreds of people who quit smoking like that, right? So what do I do when they walk in? I just literally look at them and let me guess. You've tried gum, you've tried patches, you've tried cold turkey, none of those things worked. And they're like, oh, how do you know? It's because I've spoken to about 100 of you that walk into my office and you say the same thing, right? And then I can shortcut my free consults from like before when I first started doing it. I started asking a lot of questions. Spent like an hour trying to figure out what they were trying to just share. I'm like, oh my God, this is important. Oh my God, maybe this is important. And then you'll get more refined.
Sure.
as a learning nugget for you, start to identify people's values and then understand which values motivate them for what purposes. And the better you get at refining that process, right? The better you get at refining it, because it's always a constant refinement. You'll never, you never figure it out and it's perfect, right? You'll just get better and better and better and better. What will start to happen is you'll know how to speak on video. You'll know how to write those emails because you already know what they're about to respond because you've already spoken to them. Again, the feedback loop you get in person is this constant feedback loop so you can get information to give it out. When you go onto the internet and you do marketing online, right, what's different is that you don't have that reciprocal feedback. So what do you have to do? You have to still get it. You have to get it somehow. Right? You have your friends take a look at the videos, but maybe they may not be honest with you. But the best way to do it is speak to enough people in person that you understand how they're talking, thinking, acting, and responding. So when you go shoot a video, you're well educated. You're like, let me guess. You're going to say, how do I do this thing? Well, let me tell you the solution. And they're like, oh my God, this guy knows what I've been looking for. It's because he's spoken to a lot of people who have that problem. Okay, so values, guys, it's so important. This is a game changer. This piece of content in this training will change the game for you. So find out what's important to you.
In marketing and in sales.
And in sales.
Yeah.
And find out really right now what's important to you deep down inside. What's really important to you about your life. Right? And understand that whatever that is, right? Whatever it is, whether it's family, whether it's being able to travel, whether it's being able to help more people, whether it's to be able to donate, whether it's to be able to just quit your job and have whatever it is, realize that we're going to go into so much deeper content about this information inside our training series where it's really going to bring out different light bulbs. And you'll start to understand what are the common criteria. Not just what are the common criteria, but just exactly how to speak to them. So make sure, guys, because I know there's only like 40 minutes left because the price is going up at 9 o'clock on the dot. So make sure you grab it. Again, the webinar link is inside the chat. If you're listening to this and you don't have it through a visual aspect, it's hypnoticallyselling.com/webinar series. Get on it. There's a lot of people signed up. It's incredible. We may even put a restriction on the amount of people here, so make sure you go ahead and grab it. So Will, analog marketing, and go ahead.
No. So anyway, so $497 for the next 40 minutes, and then the price goes up. I wanted to point out, LeVar said something really good. Yes, speaking, when we talked about rapport, we talked about matching and mirroring. What is one of the most powerful ways to match and mirror? It is to match the criteria. It's to match the values that they're speaking. If family is the number one thing, or free time is the number one thing, and that is their mission in life, and you start speaking to it, you're going to get in sync. Now, LeVar, I think you and I are on the same page, and that is that for me, money is secondary in everything that I do. I was sitting down with Paul Hutchings. Some of you know who he is. He was in one of my NLP training programs. He just graduated with his practitioner certificate, and he and I were sitting down to do an exercise. And in the exercise, we were finding out each other's values in a work context. And I told him, he says, well, Will, in the context of a career, in the context of a business, what's most important to you? And I said that I have the ability to radically and totally and thoroughly transform someone's life. That they have the ability to break free. Now, here's what's interesting. Paul said back to me, he said, so what's important to you is that you have the ability to contribute. Now, is that a match or a mismatch?
Complete.
The total mismatch. Right now, for him, providing value or contributing, the contributing was the word he said. Contributing was the same thing as transformation. For me, they're not even in the same universe, right? And so he said, so making a contribution is important to you. And I said, no. And it was actually like an over-the-top response. It was like came right down deep from the gut. I was like, no, contributing is not important. Transformation is important. I don't care how much money I'm getting paid if I'm helping people transform. You know, this is about changing people's lives. You know, it's like, whoa, okay, so transformation is important to you. And that's what. Hang on. So LeVar just said something. He said that's what did me in. Hang on. I want to read him here. yeah, he goes, unfortunately, William, that's what did me in when I did not understand any funnels and had to restudy for months after. Yeah, absolutely. Let's think about it. This is why you've got to get in the head of your target audience. You can't speak to your own values. If making a massive income is my number one value, which it's not. Mine is transformation. I've given it away. You know what it is, right? If my most important value is making lots of money, hand over fist, and Amir's is transformation, I'm like, Amir, you can make tons of money. You can like totally rape and pillage, but you'll like fill your pockets full of money. You'll like rob people and pillage people, but you'll be rich. You'll be rich. It doesn't matter how you get there. You can be rich. And he's like, dude, that sounds like really creepy. That sounds creepy and slimy, right?
Yeah.
I don't want any of that, right? So you've got to speak to people's values. Why do people join businesses? Hey, I'll tell you what, just like the comment earlier there about money is not the objection, money is also not usually the main reason why people join a business. Not the number one value. It might be the hook, right? But people are looking to spend time with their family. People are looking to pay off their mortgage. People are looking to pay down their debt or get a little bit of breathing space or whatever it happens to be. But the only way to know is to go out and find out who is your target market and what the hell do they want.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Go speak to them.
So,
I mean, a lot of times, and I'm going to say this from experience of 6 months marketing online, and I already had a successful practice, but I was trying to figure out the online game. I just didn't understand that I needed to actually speak to people, right? Because that was the point. It's doing it online just to people, but I was just stuck behind the computer, and I go, I don't know why nobody's doing anything, right? So, so really start to go out there, right, and understand the people that you're reaching out to that are seeing your stuff. I mean, we have tons of ways to collect that information. One way is on a lead page, you can collect phone numbers, and you're not calling them to close them or sell them anything, right? You're calling them to extract information. Just say, hey, listen, I know you've opted in. We just want to know what is it that you're looking for, and is there something that we can do to help you out? And what you'll start to do is with that ad package that you've ran, and this is a brilliant idea, and I actually learned this from another marketer who actually runs phone teams, and this is what he does. He builds phone teams doing this. He goes ahead and he elicits the criteria over the phone, right? Over the phone. Thanks, Amara. And she's like, thank goodness that's the answer. So I knew I was doing something right when I changed 3 months back. Phew, now that's off my chest. People just transforming down here, right? So that's awesome. And he says, basically go out there, and when you start to collect these phone numbers, you'll start to get information. You can send out a survey to your list. You can do a live webinar, just like we're doing right now. We can have you commenting, right? There are all kinds of ways where you can encourage that relationship. Having static content is important, but what's really more important is that engagement, especially if you're building your business online, which I know primarily a majority of you are. Either way, just really recognize that there's a person on the other side, and you need to find out what's going on with them. Otherwise, you won't know how to speak to them. And if you don't know how to speak to them, you won't know how to sell.
Right. Now, Amir, we're getting to the point where we want to wind up here in about 10 minutes, and we're gonna do probably we're gonna skip some stuff that I was gonna teach just because we're out of time. Like I said, guys, when I teach a master practitioner course on values, I literally spend like a weekend, a 3-day weekend, talking about values and beliefs, and usually that's not enough. When we do our advanced trainings, we might spend another 15 days talking about this material. So there's a gob of material to go over here, so we're doing the best we can. But here in a minute, we're going to give you absolutely one of the most valuable things that we can give you on the webinar, but we need your help, right? We need everyone's help, because here's what we have. We have a group of people that are marketing products online, and they're also marketing business opportunities online. And wouldn't it be an awesome opportunity for all of us to learn from all of us? And that is, you have a reason that you got into the business. There's a reason why you were motivated to do what you're doing. We have how many other people we've got left on the conference call at this point? It looks like 48 people are still left. We've got 48 people here right now. We can have a list of 48 reasons why people do business. This can save you gobs of time, because who are you wanting to speak to? I think my brother said it best when he says, you don't sell beef to a vegetarian. The best place to put yourself sell a business opportunity is to somebody who's already looking for a business opportunity. The easiest way to recruit somebody is to look for somebody who's looking for a home-based opportunity or who's looking for an internet-based opportunity. That's the demographic whose mind you want to get into. We've got what, 45 people or whatever left in the conference call at this point, and we can just ask. We said the Skype and Google Plus, Matt, made that a bit.
Yep, to ask
Not
them.
only that though, you got to ask them. There's a bunch of strategies. Now you can ask people online. You can connect with people on Facebook and start asking them questions. Hey, I'm curious. I saw you had a photo about blah blah blah. What made you decide to do that? And then you zip up and you let them speak, and you watch for the values show up in what they tell you. They're going to tell you. It's easy. All you got to do is discern. So we're going to do something really cool here in a minute. But before we do, I want to put another plug for the program. Guys, we're just scratching the surface with this value stuff. We're literally just kind of taking the wrapping paper off of a gift that's like way too. So what we're doing is we're going to go into a massive deep dive into values and how you can leverage values to market. And why? Why are we doing any of this? Why do I do what I do? It's to help people change their lives. It's to help people break free. It's to help people live lives of freedom. It's to help people really get what it is that they're looking for in their lives. People have been trapped, and we can break their minds free as we learn to speak to them in a compelling way. And I don't know why it is that you got in the business. I don't know why it is that you decided to sell what you're selling, but I do know one thing about you, and that is there's something deep inside of you. There's something that's important. And when you came across that opportunity, when you came across the moment when it was time to click the buy button, now in that moment you thought to yourself, I'm going to do with this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it because you felt something deep inside of yourself motivating you in that moment to take action, because you knew that taking action was the right thing to do. And why? Why? Because there was some value, and you know what it is. There's some value that resonated. Maybe it was your family. Maybe it was the ability to control your time. Maybe it was the ability to break free from corporate America. Maybe it was the ability to prosper. Whatever the reason was, wherever you are, wherever you were in that moment, something grabbed a hold of you and something changed you inside. And that's the same kind of opportunity that we want to offer to other people. We want them to connect to what's deep inside so that they can shine. Because I don't know who you are, I don't know where you're from, I don't know your history, but I do know something important about you. I know that there's a power deep inside of you that's waiting to be unleashed. I know that there's a strength inside of you that just needs to be uncovered. And when you can uncover that strength, when you can tap into that source of power, there's a light that begins to shine in a way that'll blow your mind. It'll just blow you out of the water, because it's such a powerful thing to tap into your own awesomeness. It's such a powerful thing to tap into your own power. And that's what we want to help you do, and that's why we're offering the deeper dive into this $497 program. So if you haven't done it, literally you have 30 minutes until the price goes up to $597. We want you in there at the discounted rate, so make sure you visit the link and click the buy button. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and let's dive into maybe the most important thing. So give me a yeah, baby, or give me an oh yeah if you're ready to help unleash the power of the group and to figure out what it was that motivated people to join their opportunity. Because guys, this is going to be a goldmine. To learn what are the values that were activated to unleash people's power. Okay, here we go. So here's the question. Go back to the moment in time when you decided to join whatever it is that you're promoting right now, or you decided to affiliate. And step back into that moment. Maybe you were hovering right in front of a buy button for a program that cost $497, or maybe there was something else in front of you that you were about to buy. But remember that very moment where you were, remember what it looked like and how you felt, and then write down what was important to you in that moment. What were you really looking for in your business opportunity, or in your product, or in your affiliate program, whatever it happens to be. What was important to you to take action now? and to click the buy button right in that very moment and type it over here, and we'll get a big long list, and then you guys can go, wow, this is what people are looking for. These are the values that I need to speak to, because we've got 40 people. If you're listening to this and you're not in front of your computer, if you're on a phone, for example, make sure you log into the Facebook group later tonight. Check out what's there, but also type in your answers. The more data we have, the more we can all grow as marketers. So I'm going to go ahead and type mine in, okay? I'm going to and number them. Let's all take a minute to do this. This is like massive market research right here. Make sure you write down 5.
Oh,
and really step back into the moment and think, what was it that motivated you? Yeah, no, making you work. I'm up to 4 right now, and this is important, guys. I know there's a little bit of dead air here as we're talking, but this is the stuff that's going to change lives. All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and refresh, and let's take a look at some of these that are coming in, and then we're going to wind up the conference call within 4 or 5 minutes here. Okay, so we've got a few. We've got Mike just says 1, my retirement program. And Mike, give us some more. If there's something else there, that's great. If there's not something else, that's great too. Okay, LeVar, the truth can change my mindset and find out the real way of making a living. I know it's out there somewhere. This is just the start. Thanks at least to one guru. Okay, cool. That's on December 20th, 2012. Okay. LeVar, give us some more there. Okay, Georgia, the ability to transform people. Okay. Amir, okay, wow, Sherry, to have an emotional connection. Oh, hang on, that's up north, sir. Here, let me drop down. Okay, Summer, to have 1, time, and 2, financial freedom to enjoy my horse and dog more fully, to be able to quit my job, and 4, to be able to spend time with the people I love. Let's let these keep on trickling in, guys. I wanna end this, but guys, if you're listening to this and you're not on the Facebook group, go to the Facebook group. Do this. This is gonna, as you contribute, you're going to also see the things that everyone else has got there, and it's going to give you the ability to have a massive amount of market research. You're going to get the buzz phrases. You're going to get the buzzwords. You're going to get the words that have these deep emotional connections to people. If we get all probably 200 people that will eventually go through this webinar over the next couple of days, we can have a massive amount of data that we can use as we go out to sell our products and to connect. So guys, here's we're going to close. We're going to close. We have 25 minutes to you in. We want you in at the discounted price. We want you more to be in. What we really want to do is we want to unlock your inner awesomeness, and that's what this program is really designed to do. It's designed to get you the financial freedom and the time freedom that you want. It's designed to really help you be your own boss and to do what you want to do. This program can help set you free. So anyway, Amir, anything you want to say in closing tonight?
Well, I'd like to say this. There are so many ways in which we can tell you that what we have right here is probably one of the best things that we could ever do inside this industry. And we can go ahead and rant and speak here. And ideally, what we want to really touch your hearts. We want you to know that what we have to offer and what you're about to experience, right? Because it's not even about us. I'm going to be honest with you. It's about you, right? It's like what Will said. It's about you transforming. It's about you getting yourself to the next level. It's about you walking in and walking out, being able to spend more time, to make more money, to explore the world in a different way, to have different views and different values. A couple weeks ago, I was pulled over in my car in Georgia, right? And an officer came to my window, right? And it's a great story. I won't share all of it. I'll share the rest of it on the webinar series, but I'll share part of it right now. And what happens is the officer like knocked on my window. He sees a New Jersey plate. I'm in Georgia. He goes, Amir, where are you going? And I start to explain to him that I'm traveling to Houston, Texas. I've been on this road trip, and I'm just going there. And of course, he looks at me and he goes, sounds like you got a lot of money, boy. And what happened in that moment was I started to realize that the filters he's viewing the world was keeping him stuck. The way he was perceiving wealth and freedom wasn't even possible within his dynamic. And what we want to do, right, is we want people to understand that their life can be more, it can be better, it can be greater, right? Your life is about to change inside these webinar series, and not just change and radically transform. The moment I signed up for a hypnosis course, you know, I took that training, right? I literally walked out of that training and I was hypnotizing people on New York City streets with a wizard hat and a cape because I just believed in what I did, right? I was just like, let me just hypnotize people, right? I was just so excited about what I could do. And I realized that nothing I love how even another hypnotist is laughing at me. See the thing here. I
knew I like you for a reason.
I know, right? I like myself too for a reason, right? But what I was missing 2 years ago was it wasn't about me. It was about allowing people to explore the actual distance that their mind can cover. They can actually make their imagery, right? What's in their mind, a reality. I had one of my students, Brett. I met him at an event. I hypnotized him. He walked out and he goes, "Dude, this is so incredible. I can make my mind real." I was like, yeah, that's what they've been saying. He was like, but it makes sense now. I can visualize the world and I can step into it. And see, when people have those experiences, that's what I live for. I live for those moments. I live for people just being able to make that breakthrough. When people say you can't do something, I say, let's do it better. Let's break all the rules. Let's do it better than everybody else could. And I believe in each and every one of you. I've had some email conversations with some of you, Facebook messaging each other. I'm sending out email blasts. And I want each and every one of you to succeed. It's kind of a selfish desire to make sure you succeed, right? We actually bend ourselves a little over and backwards the last couple of weeks just to put this all together so you can succeed. We want you to succeed. It's possible. We know you can do it. There's only about 20 minutes left. Go ahead to hypnoticallyselling.com/webinar series. Sign up because at 9 o'clock on the spot, it will be upped. The price will change. We did take some feedback and suggestions in as well. So what we're going to do for the additional price, the $597, is that we've decided to go ahead and split those into payments. I know some people are having trouble coming up with the money immediately. We don't want the money to be a problem for you. I know some people said they're going to get paid on Friday. Well, this is our solution. Me and Will are listening to you. See, we pay attention, right, to what's important to you, right? Are you guys learning? Because this is important, right? If your customers are having a problem, find out what that is and solve it. That's why you're in business, right? That's why you're here to help people change, right? So what we've decided to do is at 9 o'clock, that page will change, and it will allow you to pay 3 payments of $199. So it's a total of $597. So it's still an additional $100. But it's a little cheaper for you right now because if you want to get a hold of that course, and that price will only last another 24 hours. So you might as well grab it right now. If you're going to make that decision, go ahead and cross that line. I know somebody that's probably on this webinar right now. Last night, 10 minutes before midnight, he bought it. He was just like, he was right on the urge. He was like, I know I should have got it. I'm going to get it, right? And if you're there, just walk the line. Just cross it. And I'm telling you, life will be different. It won't ever be the same. And what we're going to share with
Your
you,
eyes will open.
we'll let you see the world in a whole new way, like Will said, a whole new way. And when you see the world that way, there are no problems. There are only solutions. And we want you to see all those solutions all around you. We want you to grasp a hold of those solutions. We want you to be able to take those ideas, make them reality. We want you to be able to just walk into any niche, any business, any industry, and create an industry of your own that didn't even exist. We want you to succeed, and we believe in you. We believe in you so much. We want you to be able to do that. So I guess with that being said, I don't care where you're at in your life. If you know, right? If you know that this is your next step for you, take it. Okay, we're here for you. So I don't know. I guess with that being said, go ahead.
That's a great place to close.
I think that's a great place
That's
to
a great
close.
place.
So
I do. I think that's a great place to close. We both believe in you. I believe in you. I have a deep faith that there's a spark of greatness inside of you. And my only goal, I'll tell you a secret. My only goal in doing any of this, my only goal in doing these webinars is to unlock a door for you and to open up a field of possibilities and to help you unlock your own potential. So I believe in you. I'm going to sign off for tonight. I really appreciate you. Amir, you're amazing, and awesome training with you as always. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow, right? Back here tomorrow, same bat time.
Yep. Same exact time tomorrow, and we'll be talking about more amazing content. Oh. See.
The organizer has ended the session, and